that's listening to the sound of my voice, um, I wrote a book uh, 2 years ago, published from a company called Get Published Successfully, owned by my co-host here, John Mack. Um, he encouraged me to write a book. We met each other about 5 years ago. He encouraged me to write a book. And, because my name is Edwin Victory, I decided to take the letters of my last name, which is actually, my last name is actually VN. V is in victory, IENN. So I've always said victory. It's become a stage name, a public name, or whatever we call it is. But I decided to take the letters of victory and make it into an acronym with the help of Mr. Mack, Johnny Magnificent. He's a wordsmith. So during that time, he helped me come up with the acronym of victory. And what we decided to do, I launched the book. Well, we put the book out about 2 years ago, but I never marketed the book. And I really believe that I didn't market the book for the simple fact that I had to live it out myself. I had to live out every letter of that book, and I'm still living it out. I think I'm on key number 8 now. I'm on 7 now. I need to make sure that I get to finish the whole thing. So in the next 7 days, what we're going to do is we're going to discuss each letter of the book. I am giving everybody a free flip book. If you go to victoryvilleamerica.com, you can actually get the free flip book. And if you want to donate, we'll take the donation. The donations are going to my children's entertainment ministry. I make mascots. I own a company called Mascot Heaven. We've done over 800 shows in mascot costumes. And if you're on with us on Zoom, you can see my mascots right here. This is Bob Wins, Billy Bob Wins. And, so what Johnny Mack encouraged me to do was write the book, Seven Keys to Victory. And today we're discussing letter 1. Thank you, Johnny, for holding it up. My studio is so crazy right now that I would have to move around to go get my book. But I don't want to move right now. But Johnny, I want you to talk about, what your thoughts are on how we started this project and where we are today.
Well, first off, I want everybody that doesn't know to realize that Edwin is a very unique and talented individual. And when I met with him, we were looking to do some marketing for another project that I was working on. And as we began that, we began a friendship because Edwin is just he has just such a heart for people, and as I saw that, I realized that it was important that he share the information of what he was doing with as many people as possible. So when we started the process of producing and creating the book and crafting the book, it became very simple that the acronym of his name was exactly what was needed in order to be able to push this out and to bring all the nuggets that he shares on a regular basis. Because when you talk with him, there's that rare individual that everything that they say, you need to have a pen and piece of paper so you can take copious notes. And he's just dropping all this knowledge, dropping all this information that I said, hey, this is something that people could use for transformation. Now, just as an aside, as a publisher, I have the option of choosing the types of books I want to work with and the types of authors that I want to work with. And just looking at and dealing with and interacting with Edwin over the course of several months, I realized that he had something very vital and very important to say. And so as we sat down and back and forth, we crafted the whole content of the manuscript. I was just amazed, truly amazed. It's only what 70 pages. Hold on. Oh, it's 100 pages. But in this 100-page transcript, this manuscript here, he gives you so many nuggets, so much information that there's seeds that if you plant in your spirit will grow up and you'll be able to begin to accomplish the types of things that you want to accomplish. Now, talking of accomplishment and achievement, you know, Edwin he regularly performs in Vegas now. He's done R&B virtuoso. Look at his volume of songs and books. I mean, the guy is just he's phenomenal. He performed at my last event, and we had several hundred people that they were just amazed. Who is this guy? But on top of that, he's a visionary, and as such, he's bringing that vision to, and especially now that we're in 2021, he's bringing this vision so that we can win in 2021. So I'm just excited to be a part of the project.
Well, thank you, Johnny. I mean, I've always been excited to call you coach because you really inspired me from the day one to and you actually, that's where we begin the whole talk today is because you literally gave me the V to start this whole process of 7 keys to victory. Seven. Now it's seven. Today is 7 days of victory because we want to take the next 7 days. We just want to take a moment of time, a moment out of our day to really see exactly clearly what this year could turn out for us if we totally focus and get all the way to the why. I tell everybody the victory is not at the V. The victory is when the V is lifted up, and that's at the why. So today we want to start at the V. This is not the complete victory, y'all. This is just the V. This is where it starts, and this is where, where the road to winning begins. My first name is Edwin. I mean, well, it's Edwin, which means my dad used to tell me my middle name, which was Edwin, my first name Charles, middle name Edwin. He used to call me Edwin, and he said it meant everyday win. So I think that, with that being said, I think, from my dad to now, I think he bred me to be a winner, you know. So I want to actually impart that into everybody under the sound of my voice. I believe that you can be Edwin as well. You can win every day. I believe it's when you open your eyes and you get another chance. You beat every situation in 2020 and you made it to day one of 2021. So that means you are an Ed winner. So
Every day win. I always like that because often we get caught up in being and just being challenged just to win at all. But you're saying every day you have the opportunity to get up and win. Every day you have the opportunity to engage in victory. So that first letter, let's go ahead and break it down. You got these people sitting over tiptoed anticipation. What's the first letter? If I want to have victory in 2021, what's the one thing I got to start with?
you got to validate yourself. You got to validate yourself. You got to be validated. You got to put the stamp on it. You got to know that that the journey must begin when the gun shoots. Pop, run. There you go. Validate.
Okay.
I can't move past them. It's just the first day. After validation comes something else. But if you are not confident about your validation, that's where we need to start. We need to be confident that you know what you're supposed to be doing. And if you don't know, it's okay because what happens in that process, at least you start the process of wanting to know. So validation. Go ahead, Mr. Mack.
Well, let's talk about validation. To everybody. From the time you mentioned earlier, your dad inputting into you, sharing information with you, telling you that you was a winner, telling you that you could be a winner every day. So that was an act of validation. Your dad was saying you're valued, you're valuable, you're valid, you are enough, you're good enough, you can do it, you can win. So that validation gave you the confidence to get on stages and sing before audiences. That gave you the confidence to be able to be creative. It gave you the confidence to step out and to win. So with validation from those outside sources, from our parents, our teachers, preachers, relatives, friends, associates, bosses, all those relationships, those validations say we are worthy. But I think that the most important validation comes from within. So talk about that.
Yes. Well, I mean, internal validation is definitely one of the things that you have to be. It's also called self motivation. You know, you have to be motivated every day uh, to move forward. Every day is a blessing to me. I think about, history is a mystery, tomorrow's not promised, and today is the only present that we have. So in your present, you have to know that there is something for you to do at every moment of the day. Everybody gets the same opportunity every single day, and every one of us on this earth has also been given the same measure of faith.
Mm. Are you
So,
going? You're going to take it to the faith level, huh?
validation is a faith move. I'm not, here to preach a word from. I definitely read my Bible, and I'm a believer, and I believe that the word is what transforms our life. But the thing about it is that, if you don't have the faith to know, you have to have faith in yourself to know that you can do something that is significant. And I believe that significance is in your value. And we can also call validation. Validation is something that is valuable to you because if you know how to self-motivate and self-validate yourself, you become valuable to somebody else. You become valuable to somebody who may not know. So I think that, it all is a culmination of things. When you talk about validation, you want to make sure that you understand that you believe in yourself. You know that you have a mission. You know that you have a purpose. You know that there's a plan for you. And if you take today and you plan it out right, you can move into tomorrow, which will give you even better results.
Well, yeah, and the results are what we're looking for. And so, if we're headed toward victory, if victory is what we want to achieve, and validation is one of the key elements of that victory, so we must first off understand how to, like we said earlier, how to get that self validation, and to realize that seeking validation from outside sources is something that can cause you to procrastinate, to hesitate, and to delay the blessing and the victory that you have. Because if you're waiting for someone else to approve you, if you're waiting for someone else to say good job, if you're waiting for someone, see, because right now let's be transparent, let's be real clear and honest. A lot of times people look at you, especially Edwin, I know that people look at you and they see all the gifts, all the talents, all the abilities, all the skills that you have, and it intimidates them and it infuriates them. They say, "But how can he have all that? I want to be like that. I want to be able to sing. I want to be able to dance and recite poetry. I want to be able to create books and covers and do all the things that you're doing." So they don't want to validate you because your validation exposes their limitation. I'm gonna say that again. Your validation exposes their limitation. So when we're seeking validation from outside sources, we have to be careful. We have to we want to surround ourselves with those that celebrate us and not those that just don't just tolerate us. Celebration rather than toleration. Toleration means that that tolerance can end at any time. And when they're looking at your blessings and all the skills, everything that you have, and you be careful when someone doesn't applaud you when you achieve. Be careful when someone doesn't clap for you when you get the crown or when you get the prize or when you win the race. Because the key is the validation that they bring to you is short lived. Because if they can validate it, if they bring it to you, they can take it away from you. They can take it back. And so that's why it's so important that you validate yourself, that you find value within yourself, that you realize that you are valid, that you are valuable, that you're valid, and that most importantly, that you are enough. There's nothing that you can do. See, excellence says that you do all that you can do. Perfection says that there's still more to do. Perfection is impossible, but excellence is a reality all day long.
Wow, you know what? I mean, hearing it come from you like that is amazing because, naturally, I'm just me, you know. Naturally, I am just doing what I know to do every day, you know. I mean, I don't do it. I don't do it to show off. I don't do it to brag or boast. I just do it because I need to exhaust myself every single day.
Pour out,
Yeah.
empty yourself.
Yes, I need to pour myself out every day as an to the point of being empty.
So that you can be filled back up with more. And see, that's a blessing, a lesson in validation all by itself. Because when you've
Yeah.
done all that you can do, then you can the next day he fills you. He gives you another fresh 24 hours, another fresh what so many hours, so many minutes, so many seconds. Every day you get a fresh new bank account of all this time. And so what you do with that time, you can sit back and sit on your rusty dusty and hope that something happens, or you can get up and make something happen. And that's what I admire about you is that you make something happen. And that's the validation that causes the elevation. You better stop.
Wow. Validation that causes the elevation. You know what? I tell you, I literally want to make sure. That's why I give this book away right now, the flip book. And that's why I want everybody under the sound of my voice to go to victoryvilleamerica.com and get your copy of the flip book because validation will bring you the elevation. And elevation will bring you to a point to where
Compensate.
I love it. Yes. Yes. So, man, I
Hey,
just
permit me to stop and just share a segment out of this book for a moment, okay? Because
please.
this really blessed me. I mean, I was involved in the creation of it, but just seeing the end result is always just so powerful.
I want to welcome Keisha to the room.
Hey,
She's
Keisha,
at, she's on Clubhouse. She's listening in. Thank you for joining, Keisha. If you have any questions, I'll bring you to the stage. That way you can ask if you have any questions. But we're going to be talking. I'm talking with my publisher, my friend Johnny Mack, who helped me publish the 7 Keys to Victory. Okay, she left the room, but it's okay.
it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Read that way.
On page 16 in that first chapter of validation, it says, when you validate something, that means you put a stamp on it. When you put a stamp on something, that means it's done. When it's finished, the stamp is a signature. When you're talking about the 7 steps to victory, the V is the first letter. It's the first step to getting to victory. You say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I believe in. This is where I'm going to go. There's no stop until I get to the victory, until I get to the end. It's the starting point. Without the start, there's no finish. Without beliefs, there's no attainment. So validation is so very, very important because it puts a stamp on what you're doing. It says that what I'm doing is good. What I'm doing is taking me to the end result, which is victory. I love it.
Oh, now that right there is amazing. You know, that is amazing. Can we read that again?
Yes, sir. Let me go look right to that page one more again. On page 16, it says, when you validate something, that means you put a stamp on it. When you put a stamp on something, that means it's done. It's finished. The stamp is a signature. When you're talking about the 7 steps to victory, the V is the first letter. It's the first step to getting to victory. You say, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I believe in. This is where I'm going to go. There's no stop until I get to the victory, until I get to the end. It's the starting point. Without the start, there's no finish. Without beliefs, there's no attainment.
Wow. You know, I just read that last night. I started the audio book and I just read that, but just hearing it, I guess that's why the audio book is necessary because people need not just to read, they need to hear, you
Well,
know.
and more people, as a publisher, I'm finding that every month, hundreds of thousands of books are printed and published and made available to the public. And yet, every month, the next month, more books are written. So there's more knowledge. We're in the knowledge or the information age right now. More anything you want to know how to do, or that you want to know how to feel or dream, there's a book about it. But unfortunately, less and less people are reading. They said that that probably only 10% of people read a book beyond formal classroom study, college or high school. So if more books have been written and less people are reading them, how's that happening? So the audio component is huge. I listen to now I read probably about 20 books a month, and that's prodigious. But I listen to about 4 or 5 books. I listen, I audio about 4 or 5 books a week because I'm just getting that information in. And every now and then I listen to some type of fiction, little novel. But for the most part, it's power packed information that's going to cause transformation, and I'm loving it. And this book right here, as an audio, this is one of those ones you'll listen to the entire month and just keep playing it over and over and over again because you want to get all that knowledge. You want it to just to sink in. What's the big book say? Faith comes by what?
Hearing,
And hearing by
hearing
what?
by the word,
Okay?
written word.
Written word.
And you know what? And I think, I think I've been given a double portion of the anointing between yourself and Mr. Guyton. I've been given a double portion. So the anointing, the anointing that's on my voice is actually, I mean, when I listen to it, I have a gift of vocal recording.
Mhm.
Uh, and I noticed that. I noticed that when I hear my commercials. I noticed that when I hear myself sing. So now I'm noticing it as an audiobook. I played it back a bit today, and I actually on my other system over there, I'm loading it up day by day, just like we'll do this video. But I'm noticing that, that's the blessing, is that when you can put the audio out there and you have an anointing that's on your voice, that actually does even more, you
Oh
know.
yeah, because it penetrates.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I just, I think, now where I'm at in my life and going through situations and circumstances and the validation of what God had has me or has brought me to, and he's actually bringing me all the way to. This is a winning year. This is a year that I know where we are in Vegas, or let's call it Victoryville, the city of winners. 21 is always a number of winner.
Behave. Blackjack.
I mean, anytime you hit, now you can hit 21 about 3 different ways, maybe more. But there's three main, you can have a king and an ace, that's a 21. You can have a queen and an ace, that's a 21. You can have a king, queen, and no, you can't do nothing without a king, queen, and an ace. That's a 21. That's a win all day. But 21 is the number of wins. And I have 4 sons, and one of my sons, which is named Charles Edwin Vien III, was born on the 21st of January. And, and I'm always reminded of these things that God has blessed me with in the validation process. So I just, wanted to just say, man, I want to thank you because, you've totally inspired me the whole journey. You've seen the struggles, you've seen the things, but the validation didn't stop. Just because you go through struggles and circumstances and times of difficulty, it does not stop the validation. It does not take away the anointing. All you got to do is press through.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go through those circumstances and evaluate. And see, think about that. When you're going through those pressures, that frustration, those situations, you just internally, the narrative is you ain't good enough. You ain't worthy. Look at you. You failed again and again and again and again, and you just throw your hands up and you want to quit. But the validation that the outside brings, it may not be there. And so that's what allows you to give up. But when you have that self-validation, that inner validation, when you've already accepted that you are good enough and you've already made the decision that you're going to follow your vision to the end, to the completion, just like we just read right there, that you don't quit, that you go all the way to victory, to the attainment, then that's when the validation becomes so vital. That's when you understand that you must validate in order to be able to go to the victory.
Man, you know what? I want to take another piece of the book and read it. Let me find I saw a nugget there in the book yesterday, and I want to on page I want to talk about every day. Every day. I'm on page 18. You know, I'm talking about seeing it. On page 18, it says, first and foremost, you must see it. You must see what you believe you want to see materialize. If you can't see it, there's no way you can get what you're believing for. That's why people always have a vision board or say have a vision board. You need something tangible to look at what you're believing for. When you see it every day,
Every day.
you confess it. It becomes real in your mind. You want to make sure you're saying positive confessions about what you believe. You don't want anything negative to come out of that belief. You want to always be thinking positive about what you're believing for, what you believe for. You want to say it.
Say it.
You know what? I mean, and I think that the edge that I have is because I am a graphic designer.
Mhm.
One, I naturally, just like I can visualize what's behind me. This sign normally says, "Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas." Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. But I see something different. I went to the top of this building right here, right there at the top. I went all the way to the top of that building and I saw the whole Las Vegas from the top, every point, all the way around. And I saw it and I said, you know what? It took some vision, some victorious vision to create this city. Somebody, I mean, even though we hear all the mob stories of Las Vegas and we hear this, that, and the other, somebody had a major vision in the middle of a nowhere, a middle of a desert, a middle of, if you come out here in July, around July 3rd, you will never want to come back here ever again in life.
You'll stay inside the whole time.
And if you can make it through a COVID heat wave, and you understand that you can win and get to 2021 through a COVID heat wave and look outside the big window when he raises you up one level, he raises you up one floor from the bottom. That's where I'm at here in Victorville. I'm on level number 2 here in Victorville, floor number 2, Victorville. Y'all come to Vegas and you come to Victorville, you'll see that I'm on number 2, step number 2. And you look out the window and you walk outside to the beautifulness. Now you come here on January 1st to this place. You want to live here forever. But you'll validate this place. You'll put a stamp on it. You'll see it. So when I moved here and I got a chance to do everything I've done here in Vegas, it actually validated that this place was a city of winners. This place is a city that if you could see it, you can believe it, you can achieve it. I was told yesterday by my other coach, FD Guyton, he says, any business that really wants to launch, normally comes to launch in the city called Las Vegas first. So I'm just blessed, that I've been validated to be able to graphically design my future, to be able to audio develop my future, to hear, to be able to sing on different stages, and I believe that every person out there, everybody out there has some sort of gift that's super unique, that if you hone in on it and if you focus in on it long enough, no matter how many gifts that you have, you take that one gift and you manifest something with that gift. Don't hide that gift under a bushel. Don't worry about what other people say about liking and not liking, or understanding, or not, or wanting to be, or jealous, or envy, bitterness, whatever. Don't worry about none of that. Just manifest and work every single day, confessing good things over the thing that you do good. Because I promise you, there's something that you do good that I probably will never be able to do good ever in life. But if you focus on what you do good every single day, and take that mantra of everyday win. Matter of fact, I want to give everybody the name, Johnny. I want to give everybody the name. I can't keep the name for myself. Okay. I want to make sure that everybody understands that you can win every single day too, with what you have to give to this earth. This earth depends on your seed to be planted into the ground, and the tree that comes from that gift will multiply and create so many more seeds for a generation that really needs your seed, your blessing.
Wow. Hey, well, look here. This has been fun, and we ain't got to run quite yet, but soon. But I was looking out, said, now hold on. Let's look at that word validation, because a lot of people that are listening and that will listen to the replay are saying, well, what exactly do you mean by validation? So the dictionary says this.
Okay.
The noun, the action of checking or proving the validity or accuracy of something. The action of making or declaring something legally or officially acceptable. Recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are valid or worthwhile. So when you validate yourself, when you allow others to validate you, when you validate others, that proves the validity or the accuracy, that declares that something is legally or officially acceptable, and it also says that your opinions are valid and worthwhile. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Whoop, whoop. I love that. I love that. Well, Johnny Mac, you know what? I think we've gotten through the validation word letter. I think we've done very, very good with explaining validation. I think I'm ready to internalize it. I'm ready to move into number 2. We'll reconvene. I think this a 30 to 45 minute session is perfect for what we're trying to do. And I think
you don't want to overwhelm them. But let me ask you this. Now they say that there's no I in team, but there's an I in victory, isn't there?
There is. I love it. Hey, I appreciate you for coming on with me. We got 6 more days to do this, and we're going to take this into the whole year. I appreciate you helping me write this book. Thank you for everything you've done. I want to thank everybody under the sound of my voice who sees this video, who hears the sound of our voices, that you will be blessed this year. You will be an overcomer this year, and everything that you put your mouth to and your hands to will prosper.
All right. Hey, this is John L. Mack. I'm the CEO and the founder of GPS. Get published successfully. So if you want to do just like Mr. Edwin did, and you want to get your book published, you want a brand book, a book that will brand you, get with me. We specialize in extracting the book out of you, pulling it out of you, and making it a bestseller. And I promise you this, now that Edwin has found and decided to go ahead on and move forward with this book right here, this is a tool that everyone needs if they want to rule their own life and validate their own life. Have an awesome day.
Have a great day. Thank you so much.
said we're going to victory.